and put your hands right into the screen. Welcome to Crosstown Cardboard episode 7. I'm Carmine at Carmine's Cards, the broadcaster, and that is Craig, the teacher at New York City Sports Cards in the New York City Public School District. And today's episode, Craig, is all about what we're thankful for in the sports card hobby. Of course, with Thanksgiving coming the day after this episode releases. Before we get to that, we're going to talk about our pickups. We're going to talk about your very successful card club / girls soccer team shindig to the watch party to watch, of course, the first game of USA in the World Cup and the heartbreak of the tie against Wales. But before we get to that, on episode 7, this is how you know we're a little bit new to the podcasting space. We want to ask people to please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like a video, hit the bell notification, and if you really are in the giving spirit, leave a comment. Or if you're listening on podcasts, Apple Podcasts, please leave us a 5-star rating if you think we deserve it, and comment, a review, subscribe, just because we have a lot more views than the 30-plus subscribers we have. And so we want people to keep hopefully watching, listening, getting something out of this, and interacting with us, and allowing us to give thanks to our viewers for this time of year. So, Craig, what do you think about how we should start this off with the new pickups here?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah. Thanksgiving week here. Pretty much mailed it in at work, but always time for some cards. Always time for cardboard talk.
Yes.
Before we get into pickups, I guess, so USA played Wales on yesterday and to a 1-1 draw. Feels like a loss. We don't need to get too much into the game. But I did have a World Cup watch party in my classroom. I tried to incorporate, obviously, soccer, football, and some cards. So what I did was I had a bunch of 2018 World Cup sticker packs. It's the best I could do right now. Someone donated them, so thank you to the hobby community. And as kids came in, they would just rip open the packs, just try to find players or countries that they represent. And it was really a lot of fun. At one point, we were watching the game, and one girl had all the stickers out on the desk. I'm like, oh, who are you looking for? And she says, I just like opening the packs. So mission accomplished.
Introduction to the hobby. That's awesome.
Exactly. But I did have a lot of international cards, and I have a lot of students who are Hispanic, especially from Mexico. So I had some of one of my girls' players. She's a freshman. She left the watch party with a handful of Mexico national team cards. So that was really cool. I have a completely blown opportunity, though. I had to go watch something in the main office for a second. So I was watching on my phone, and I was around 10, 15 seconds in front. So I saw that the goal happened. So I should have went live recording on my classroom, because all the kids that were watching in my class were like 10 seconds behind. And the reaction when USA, Tim Weah, scored their goal was electric. And I had a 20-second window to live tape that reaction, but I missed it. But that's okay. It was amazing. I had 40, 45 kids watching the game, eating pizza. Shout out to Vance and the Card Professor for the donation for the pizza.
Vanson, our boy.
And it was just a great time with soccer, Team USA, cards, and the energy was real.
That's great. That's a great combo. And I'm sure that's one of the things you're thankful for about the sports card hobby. Before we get into that, you actually have a pickup that relates to international soccer.
Yeah, so I have a lot of U.S. men's national team pickups, but I love the women's team as well. So here's a cool Carly Lloyd from 2017 Select. I love the early year Select soccer, 2015, 16, 17. And it's just a nice looking silver PSA 10 Carly Lloyd, who is retired, but she's still one of the U.S. women's greats. So it'll be fun to cheer them on when they're in the World Cup next year. And if you're on YouTube, my second pickup was a 2016 Christian Pulisic rookie year select autograph, the copper version out of 49. I picked it up on Facebook. It's on its way in from Canada. And I have his base field level rookie from the same set, also in the copper. So it's cool to pair the copper rookie base with the copper autographed card.
That's awesome. And we'll be pulling up that picture on the Crosstown Cardboard YouTube. Different type of football for me, Craig. I picked this one up here. Peyton Manning, rookie auto, absolute draft picks from 98, of course. and just cool on-card auto. Not in the best shape. You can see it's a little bit nicked up, but I mean, it's
It's
numbered
okay.
at
It's
a
old.
23. Yeah, it's
It's old,
old.
right? Yes.
I mean, almost 25 years old.
It's been through some things before. We'll
Just
we'll
like us.
we'll give it a
Just
pass.
like
But
us.
that's a great card. On card,
Yes, on-card
love it.
rookie auto, numbered at a 23.
Oh,
And
sweet. Peyton Manning.
I'm
What set
thinking,
is that?
it's absolute. It's playoff.
Wow, that's a nice
And
one.
I hadn't seen this before, because usually you see like the Peyton Manning, like contenders rookie auto and a few others, but I have not seen this. So when one of
That
my
is super
buddies who
cool.
I've done deals with before, Freezer Buys on Instagram, good guy. And I also got these. Maybe I should hit up Drake's PC, see if he's seen these before.
I'm
A
sure he
return
knows.
guest to our buddy Rob, Sports Card Therapist podcast. So I'll have to hit him up and discuss. Great guy over there and doing a lot for wrestling cards too. This one I know you'll love, Craig, with the New York City connection to our boy Carmelo. Stay mellow, my friends. Anthony. This is a Panini Threads number to 25 game used patch. You could see it's the K on the New York
Ooh.
Knicks logo.
Love a chunky patch. Love Carmelo. Number 7 on episode 7.
Oh,
You like that?
you're a math teacher. You
Melo,
know your number.
you know what? We had some good years with Melo. I think I've learned to appreciate him as a Knick more over the years when he didn't have
Yes.
much help. Management wasn't on his side, but he did everything he could for the Knicks, and we had some winning seasons with him.
Yeah, and the Indiana Pacers, their 1 year they caught lightning in a bottle with Roy Hibbert and Paul George, George Hill, those guys. They ended our run. We were supposed to be the rivals to the Heat. Remember that with Carmelo, Jason Kidd, Amari, Tyson Chandler, Jeremy Lin was in the mix until Carmelo
Steve
came back
Novak.
from injury. Steve Novak with the discount double
Sharpshooter.
check.
Yes.
All right. And one more
Good
for our
times.
Knicks fandom
Ooh,
before we
another
get
one.
into what we're thankful for. Check this one out. Game used tag from Carmelo Anthony. Totally certified Panini, numbered out of 5. Game used. So I thought you might like
love
that one
that.
with our boy Carmelo Anthony.
And that looks like it's the back end of Adidas. It just says Das.
Das. Yeah.
Game worn out of 5, if I say. That's awesome.
Yeah. So those are our pickups there, Craig. And kind of cool. We keep having our New York City flavor to the show, which we have want to thank our New York City viewers and listeners, especially because they know where our brand and where our street grit comes from a little bit more.
There you go. Now, Thanksgiving week. Thanksgiving is going to be fun. We got football. We got the World Cup this year. It's going to be a lot of good action, but let's take a second to talk about what we are grateful and thankful for in the hobby, because we're not ones to talk about the negativity, the drama.
Right.
We're going to spend a total of 0 minutes on talking about that. So let's talk about what we love, what we are thankful for, and I'm going to let you kick it off.
Okay. Thank you.
We can go
Craig.
anywhere with this, right? Because we didn't give each other many guidelines. So this could be vague, specific, explicit, abstract, but big words. I'm just throwing words out there right now.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, let's talk about the first. Well, of course, we're thankful for many other things: our health, a job that we can provide, friends, family. Yes, but specifically, we're going to talk about sports cards. So the first thing I thought with what am I thankful for about the hobby? And it's kind of, we talked about patting yourself on the back and how that's okay, once in a while. I mean, with a humble approach to it. I really like the self-confidence boost that you can get from putting your money on the line. I mean, your hard-earned cash, whether you have it segmented off and budgeted like, we recommended, to just, your sports card money. That's what you're going to use. You have your life and survival money in another pool. But just the fact you're putting your money on the line, you're trying to make a smart decision with either an investment or just a purchase. And then whether you have it and you feel great about your decision and you were able to, kind of courageously put your money out there, I'd say, depending on how much you're spending. Or, you could feel a great pat on the back if you make a good decision to buy and then you're able to sell it for more. And who doesn't like to make a little side money along with your regular income? So I like the believing in yourself aspect, being able to pat yourself on the back if you feel like you made a good decision to hold the card or to sell it later, and then a little side hustle action and a little excitement. So that was my first part I'm thankful for about the hobby.
The first part I'm thankful for, I'm going to keep this super simple to begin, is opening packs.
Oh,
I think it's an activity that's pretty unique to just this hobby. I guess there's other things where the mystery aspect of it, like I guess almost like a lottery ticket, except a lottery ticket's a win or a loss. The opening packs, no matter what you get, you're left with something. And I'm not talking about four or five, $600 boxes. I'm talking about when I say opening packs, I'm thinking of childhood memories. I'm thinking of going to Target most Friday nights with my dad, buying packs in a retail box for $2.99 and going home and having a great time. I think for a lot of kids, that's how you get started on this. And all these cards that we talk about at some point come from packs, right? So I'm thankful for the experience opening packs, the fun. Just yesterday, for example, when I had my student who was opening the sticker packs, it's a
yep.
way to connect. And I can't remember anyone who's ever not enjoyed opening a pack. That's what hooked a lot of kids last year in Card Club. And again, we're talking about the low end packs that it's just fun, the mystery, the good times. You're hanging around. Adults want to go out and have a beer together. Kids could open packs together. So I am thankful for that experience that opening packs has created and memories, that tie along to it from like childhood.
And that perfectly ties in, Craig, to my next part that I'm thankful for about the hobby, which we're going to try to list 4 thankful elements apiece. It might be more. I'm sure there's a little offshoots from it. But the thrill of, like you said, the thrill of opening packs, but I was going to say the thrill of the deal on top of that. Because not only the deal, like closing a deal, like, you get like a little Tiger Woods, yes, like a little fist pump celebration, but also the negotiation, the art of the deal, which we covered in one of our earlier episodes, the showing respect to somebody, getting respect from someone, hearing a different viewpoint of, okay, why do you value a card like that? Like you like to say, you like cards with fewer comps. I like that too, because it's more of a feel thing and you have to kind of negotiate. And then, in addition to that, you get like a little celebration every time you close a deal, whether you're selling a card, buying a card. And it's just like a little, it sounds a little bit corny, but there's not that many moments in life where you can get a little celebration. You're going through the day, everything can be a grind at times, your schedule, your routine. But how about that little charge when you make a deal, you're getting a cool card and just a little bit of excitement. And it's like a little present, coming to the door that you get to have every so often, or you get to provide a cool card to somebody else when you're selling or trading. So I think the thrill of the deal is something I'm really thankful for.
Closing a deal is just such a good feeling, especially when there's several cards and cash involved. It's like it would be like a 6-team NBA trade.
Yeah.
I remember I had one deal from National where there were like 14 cards lined up on the table and it closed. I'm like, this is awesome. And I have looked at that picture of the deal like 2 or 3 times since.
That's awesome. And it's
the
like
next
fitting
thing-
puzzle pieces together also,
Exactly.
like you mentioned, it's kind of like a art and a science similar to,
Art
and
and
if you
science.
haven't listened to the art of the trade, I would recommend checking that out. One of our previous episodes too.
The second thing that I'm thankful for, a very explicit example, is bleaker trading. So
Shout out.
shout out to Bleaker Trading. When I say Bleaker Trading, I'm referring to also Cards and Coffee, which is next door. And if you've never been to New York, the way I would describe the setup best is, you ever been to like Gap, where there's Gap on one side and there's like Gap Kids on the other,
Okay.
where there are 2 different entrances, but they're connected in the back. The only
Interesting.
difference is the way Bleaker and Cards and Coffee are connected is an outdoor patio.
Okay.
But the reason I say them is because they are what I think is the perfect picture example of what creating a hobby community should look like. And I'm so lucky that Bleaker and Cards and Coffee is my local hobby shop. They have always been so good to me. Always been so good to everyone in the community. They show a lot of loyalty. They've been amazing when it comes to Card Club, and you just get a good feeling going in there. So I'm very thankful that I have them as my LCS. The people that run Bleecker, Mark, Jess, Jacob, like their hospitality is bar none. And those who run Cards and Coffee and do like the buy sell trading, Ben, Aaron, Austin, Emily, it feels like hobby family to me. So I'm very thankful to have an LCS filled with great people who are fair, who host events, who are in it for the kids. They always bring in a diverse crowd, and they embody all the good that is in the hobby.
That's great. That's great. And that goes into one of my next parts of being thankful is just another way to connect, similar to what you just mentioned, with family, friends, meet new people like us. We met through a deal, which we covered in our first episode, starting a podcast, having a creative outlet. I kind of think of also, when somebody looks in your showcase, it's an expression of yourself too. It's like if you have a stylist and you're picking out a wardrobe. Well, our wardrobe, in a way, is the cards we put in our case. So it's an expression of your style that then you can connect with friends, family. Oh, I love that card. Remember that guy, back in the day. And it starts up stories. Like if you look over my shoulder, Kevin Garnett and Dennis Rodman. Somebody sees that in my case. All of a sudden they're talking about, man, remember that guy, Dennis Rodman? He was absolutely incredible on the court, off the court with, marrying himself and all the crazy stories coming from a small college in, I believe it was Oklahoma, and what he turned into, and a 7-time rebound champ. And all of a sudden you're reliving sports history through the card and making a connection through your shared love of a player, a sports moment. And, that just creates all new connections that maybe you wouldn't have a chance to make otherwise unless you had that card to ignite those memories and share an excitement with somebody else.
It's a good point you make about your PC being like your wardrobe. Your PC is your collection. It's almost like your canvas. Oh my God, look at that. A Weston McKinney press proof canvas parallel right behind me.
Wow, you're tying everything in.
But yeah, your PC should describe you. Like someone should be able to look at your collection and be like, oh, those cards, when I think of those types of cards, I think of Carmine, right? So there's certain cards that come across my feed, I think of you in that sense. But similar to tying it to players, another thing I am very thankful for are acquiring cards that are forever tied to memories. So as we get older, just the natural human progression, right? You forget things more and more. I think about, 2008, I was like 15, 16. I probably don't remember much day to day from being 15, 16 years old, but I do have a Jim Brown autographed jersey card in my PC that I opened from a box of 2008 Leaf Limited, sitting on my piano chair with my dad, opening packs. So cards allow us to tie to very specific memories. And I'm very thankful that these little pieces of paper help us retain those memories. Here's one specific example. This is my only Kobe Bryant autograph that I have.
Ooh, that's
This
nice.
came from in 2012 Panini products. All the products had these Kobe bonus packs. And it came with mostly base cards, and the autographs were pretty rare to find. And I picked this one up from the Hot Corner in Brooklyn around, when I say around, I know the exact date. It was May 20th, 2021. Why do I know that? Because this Kobe Bryant on-card autograph is serial number 10 out of 24. And I went to the store and picked it up precisely 10 days before my wedding. Wow. So I will forever remember when and where I got this card, because just looking at it ties me to that specific date and the connection. So I'm thankful that, again, these pieces of cardboard allow us to remember important memories. And an awesome trade for this one. It was like 5 cards plus 1,000 cash. I'm way under at this point, but who cares? This is not a card I'm ever going to get rid of for that reason, right? I think of a very specific memory when I look at this.
Yeah, that's great. And I love how it can either take you to a memory of getting the card or a memory of the athlete themselves and a story of, why you like
I could do a whole, don't even get me started. I could do a whole episode just on Kobe and what he means.
Yeah. But, I mean, the Mamba mentality. That's great. Okay, so we have that, and so we have one more that I wanted to talk about why we're thankful for the sports card hobby, and then we'll talk about some of our recent sales and kind of the state of how we're doing selling cards and seeing what the market is like during this kind of uncertain time. But I also like the sports card hobby, and I'm thankful for it too because, and I have my notes written down here. It gives me purpose and something to be productive about in my downtime. So, like, I've never been somebody who scrolls through Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter or something like that just to see what other people are doing. Me personally, I feel like that's a little bit of a waste of time to be measuring yourself up against somebody else. But it's good to keep, tabs on your friends. I'd rather personally call my friends one-on-one. So I want to do something productive and have a purpose with my downtime, and I have my phone there. And so I can always be, looking at cards, even just to look at them. I mean, I like just looking at cards and seeing what people have and remembering those times and players. But then also structuring deals and, seeing, okay, well, this person put this on Facebook or Instagram story sale. Are you open to a trade? And there's always something in the works where if you have a little bit of downtime, you can go to Instagram or Facebook if you have these deals in the works, or start new ones up. And my therapist was telling me, not the sports card therapist, but my actual therapist who I tune into as much as Rob as well. But she sent me something that a therapist speaker was putting out. And she said the number one thing that keeps people happy at their job is if they have a purpose. So that kind of reflects to not only our jobs, which we feel a strong purpose for, and you're making an awesome impact with the card club and these watch parties, introducing people to the hobby, but also in your hobby, if you have a purpose, whether it's playing guitar or, whatever it is that you feel I'm being productive, I'm impacting others, I'm improving myself. That seems like just a great use of time. And you also want to take downtime to not be productive too for your mental health. But I really enjoy that aspect where you can be productive if you want to and have some type of purpose, whether it's hobby collecting or trying to buy to sell. And so I'm thankful for that point.
Yeah, we're lucky we have this as an escape.
Yep.
It's a hobby. For me, when I play soccer, that's like my 90 minutes where I'm able to block out all the stresses of life. Right? It's pretty impossible to multitask and think about what went on at work or if I'm dealing with something personally while I'm playing soccer because you're so focused in. And making a deal, setting up at a card show is kind of the same thing. If I'm set up at a card show from 9 to 5, during those 8 hours, I'm blocking off everything else that I'm doing. Like when I went to National, it was cards and I didn't think about anything else for like an entire day. And we're pretty lucky to have that escape. And if it ever gets too stressful where it doesn't feel like an escape, then you got to make some changes. But yeah, we're very fortunate for that. There's way worse things we could be doing with our downtime.
And totally, I 100% agree. And how many hobbies do you have where you can potentially make some money too,
Yeah,
or get
totally
your money
fair.
back? I mean, there's a lot of hobbies where you're just investing, which nothing wrong with that. I mean, totally if you enjoy it and you have the money for it. But there's a lot of hobbies where you're just pouring cash. Like, what if your hobby is sailing or something with a boat or a jet ski? I guess you could resell that stuff, but not for more than you bought it for. So that's kind of an interesting aspect of it too.
Yeah, I do. I give coaching lessons to this freshman in high school, Zach, and he's also into cards. He plays soccer like myself, and he's into cards. He's a freshman in high school, and he sells cards on the side. That's pretty impressive as a 13-year-old to be learning these business practices. He is hooded_collector on Instagram, so I'm quite impressed.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out Zach. The last thing that I'm thankful for in this hobby are the friendships and connections that I have made. And I feel like that almost sounds a little bit cheesy, but I really mean that. When I used to go to card shows growing up, I was going with the purpose of buying a box and opening the packs with my dad, pulling Jim Brown autographed jersey cards. And then I think within the last maybe few years, I went to the show. I'd show up to shows really hoping to sell, flip, trade, and that is a part of it. But now, for example, I'm going to a show this Saturday, and my priority is seeing the people that I know. John behind the dime is going to be set up. I look forward to saying hi.
Yes.
Ken Sports Card Lessons is going to be set up. I'm obviously going to say hi to him. I like real friendships. Whenever I go to a Bleecker trade night, I'm all thinking like, who am I going to see? Scotty's Cards, who's a recent NYU grad. Daniel, who's a big hockey collector that lives literally across the street from me. You know, all these people that you just come across and they just become friends. They become regulars.
Yeah.
You know, Adam Lefko, for example. He's someone that I've spoken to a few times. He's a TNT analyst, works with Dwayne Wade and Shaq. He's someone that I'm friendly with through the hobby. You know, all these just connections that come about. You know, the fact that I'm coaching these kids, oh, now they're into cards. Oh, here, you go to Bleecker. Oh, now these kids show up to Bleecker and they know the people that I know. All these connections that have built through the hobby, it makes it for just one big community. And it's like networking in a way. And if you just put yourself out there, you never know what kind of opportunities might come up.
Yeah, no, that's so great. And I love the number of shout outs. I feel like we're one of the most shout out friendly podcasts because and it kind of illustrates, I feel like, both of our views on the hobby of bringing more people together, and it's something that can connect all ages, races, religions, because so many different types of people love sports. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of the best parts of the entire hobby for sure.
Yeah, it's fun. Like the number of people I now say hi to when I go to the shows around here, like it's a good time. You're hanging out with friends. That's all it is.
100%. 100%. So what do you think? Now we're going to talk about our recent sales and our take on a little bit about the state of the sports card market, specifically through our own lens. So you recently had a Whatnot sale. Can you talk a little bit about that and how it went and the hobby banter that was going on?
Yeah, it was extremely fun. I've been picking up soccer cards for the last X amount of months. And my plan all along was I'm going to pick up some cards. Hopefully, stuff becomes PC, which a lot of it I still have is much longer term holds. I'm thinking 2026. And along the way, pick up little pieces, just try to acquire cards that I think are quality players, unique cards, things people will like. Also, I could have the inventory needed to set up at a show. Now, because of my schedule, I was not able to set up at a show. So I arranged for a Whatnot show. I spent a couple weeks promoting it. I got some friends to promote it. And my idea all along was $1 auctions. Whatever they go for, they go for. Some cards maybe I took a hit on. Others I made money on. But I went on for an hour live. We had some giveaways. There was some incredible banter. I was shocked that at one point I had 80 people in the room.
Wow.
And it was soccer cards. Well, once the giveaway ended, the numbers went from 80 to about 45, but whatever. We had 80 at one point. And it was some really good quality conversation. And kind of like what we spoke about earlier, during that hour that I was selling on Whatnot, $1 auctions, one after another, that hour just flies by. And during that hour, you're not thinking about anything. It's all the cards. So I was able to put a lot of really cool cards, stuff that I like, into other collectors' hands. So, I'm a big Weston McKinney fan. There was somebody on the Whatnot stream that bought 4 Weston McKinney cards. So that's great, right? We get to share that kind of fandom. There was a lot of good soccer talk. People reached out, said they learned some things. And yeah, it was pretty cool to come out of that Whatnot stream now with a little bit of cash, which I'm just going to put back into cards, like when I go to the show this weekend, but also interacting, getting to know people, the banter. It was just a really fun stream, and I was able to unload a lot of stuff and ready to buy again.
That's great. And that's similar to what me and you both do. I talked about on the San Francisco show how I sold, maybe $600 or $700 worth of cards. And then I put it right back into the Kevin Durant flawless game used patch on card auto numbered out of 15.
Nice.
And,
love that card.
So, yeah, no, what a great card. Yeah. Yeah. He had that quote where he was kind of talking about his teammates not being so great, but it was an honest moment, and he was talking about
wrong.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. I mean, but the expectations are there when you're Kevin Durant, and no, totally. So that's good to hear that the Whatnot sale went well. And of course, I was tuning into our buddy Sports Card Lessons, Ken, who you mentioned, and Rob, and it's nice to hear the Chicago Spectacular and Dave over at Extraordinary Cards. I saw in his story saying that it went really well, lots of buyers, and good to hear. I mean, that's of course a great location. in Chicago there. And, with National, National wouldn't be going to Chicago several times without it being such a great location. And then Connecticut and New Jersey also having good turnouts with people buying for the right price. So I think a lot of people are a little bit worried, about the state of sports cards. But
No worries here.
if you like your cards, you like what you have, and you have them fairly priced for the current market, it seems like you can do pretty well. And that's what I found recently with my Instagram story sale and Facebook sale.
Talk to me. You
Yeah,
seem to figure something out, a little more
I
success.
I feel like because I feel like where I was a little bit misguided, I was casting too wide of a net. And so I was trying to hit too many people at once. So I'm posting my Kevin Durant flawless game used on card auto, which I just showed on the Crosstown Cardboard YouTube, that I value around 2K. I'm posting that along with like $75 cards. And so I figured I'm casting too wide of a net. And I also noticed on Facebook and Instagram, I rarely make sales over $1,000. And I think that's just because of most of the people on there. First of all, if you're buying a 4-figure card, that price is, some people out, which no shame in that. That's a lot of money. And, maybe just the people who I've sold and bought with are more in the 3 figures. So I said, you know what? Let me put on my story sale on Instagram and on Facebook, selling $50 to $450 cards immediately as the first thing. And just posting cards under $500, $50 to $450, because I noticed that's, a range that I was mostly selling my cards in. And I sold like 5 cards and brought in $875. And just in talking with some of my other, and I was excited about
give it up for yourself. That's a good day in the office.
Yeah, and I was excited. And like I said, I try to hit like a 30 to 40% profit area. And, based on past trades and sales. And a couple more shout outs to my guys, Vil Graffs and basketball card enthusiast Leon. They both do this full time. And so I was asking them, what's the range where you guys try to sell at? And for the most part, it was like underneath 400 or between 200 to 700 as far as what range are going to really hit a lot of people if you're selling frequently, which could be different depending on, like Mikey's cards, for example. He's got 4 and 5 figure cards and it seems to move them really well. So that's not, a hard and fast rule. That's just a couple people's take on it, but they're doing it full time. And so I said, let me try to zoom in a little bit and target this market. And then I have a separate thing where I'm going to sell, 500 to maybe 7K with the Tiger, but 500 to 4-figure cards in a different post so that I'm not casting too wide of a net. I'm more targeting who I'm looking for and the range of cards that will appeal to different people.
Smart, right? Cater to a lot more people, but I would imagine majority of the people in this hobby are in that 50 to 500 range. But you're casting a wider net. That's smart. What do you have coming up? Anything?
Not really too much coming up for me. I'm thinking maybe Burbank, and that's in mid-February.
Okay.
But nothing crazy. I'm trying to see if that'll work. I'm not sure because we're not really allowed to take time off during a sweeps, like a ratings period.
The news doesn't sleep.
At the TV station, news doesn't sleep. And so if we need the horses in the barn, we can't take vacation. So,
I feel you.
So we'll see if that works.
I'll hold it down for us. I fully plan on going to that show Saturday, the Tarrytown show, run by the same promoters as the shows that I used to go to when I was 13, 14 years old. They've been around forever. 150 tables. I plan to walk the floor. I have no plan. That is my plan at shows. No plan. Just walk around, keep an open mind. You never know what you're going to see. And by the time we record next week, USA will have, they will have finished the group stages. So it could be a very interesting conversation next week. I'm either jazzed up or I am trying to completely spin how my U.S. men's national team is going to stay strong over the next 4 years. But everybody watch USA versus England Friday at 2 p.m. on Fox. It's going to be an incredible game. I saw something like 9 million viewers for USA Wales, which is an arbitrary number to me, but it sounds like a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good amount. That's a lot of people to
Okay.
watch one event, speaking from somebody in TV.
Yeah,
And
you would know what
so,
that means.
yeah, that's a lot of people. And my heart was pounding. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge soccer fan, but when the USA is on that jersey, there's just some national pride that comes out. You're like, come on, for the country, do it for the country. And I was so excited about that. And you mentioned the Terrytown show, Craig. That's funny because that's one town over from where I grew up in Ossining, New York.
Oh,
That was one of our rivals, Sleepy Hollow High School. And they had one of the most intimidating and interesting mascots when I used to start the football cheers when I
a
was in the
pillow.
stands. No, it was the Headless Horseman.
Right. I knew some urban legend, something out there. I figured Sleepy Hollow pillow.
Yes. And then
The Sleepy Hollow pillows.
the My Pillow guy is the president. But
Yes.
anyway, no. So the guy rode out on a horse, and
That is intimidating.
He had no head, of course, in a black outfit, and I think he had like a sword, and he was just riding out onto the football field. And Johnny Depp, star of the movie Sleepy Hollow. So that's going to be a lot of fun, though. 150 tables. I can't wait to hear how that goes for you.
Of course, we're gonna have so we got the show, we got USA England. I think that just about does it. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Enjoy some time, buy some cards.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, comment. I never thought I'd be saying that in my life, but here I am.
We're not going to say smash that like button, though.
Yeah, because we don't want you to break your keyboard.
No, because us card collectors are a little bit fragile.
Yeah.
So we don't want to do that. But also coming up, one more thing, Craig, before we wrap up, our Thanksgiving episode is the San Francisco Card Show vlog. I've been working on it, and that's going to come out soon. Just a wrap up of my time in San Francisco and hanging out with your boy Vanson, another hobby connection. And thankful for that trip too, because me and my girlfriend got to explore San Francisco on the Sunday after the card show. So just another thing to be thankful for about our great hobby.
There you go. Carmine, I'm thankful for you. Good episode. Enjoy the day off.
You too, bro. All right. Go USA. And we'll see you for episode 8 next week.
Peace.